Hey, yo, what's up? It's Colin.
What is that game about?
This is going to be Hollow Knight.
All right.
I'm here with the boys in the Discord.
Yep. Greetings. I am Ethan.
I'm Carlos.
I can't believe you forgot his role again. God damn it.
I'm not. My sister came into my room.
Yeah, I heard the little kid in your room, so I muted you. Don't take that out of context. Okay.
We are missing a couple of the boys, but they will definitely be in future videos.
Sure, they will. Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll hold them. We'll hold them accountable to that.
We will hold them hostage.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, you recorded Hollow Knight for us.
It was a fun, extremely painful week. Yeah.
Yeah, you did crank them all out like within a week's time, didn't you?
It was like a week and a half total because I had to do a different thing for the game, but like for the ending of the game. But yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It should be stressed. This is not a all endings playthrough. No.
No, I don't have the time nor patience.
Yeah. So
Nor skill.
Yeah, I was unfamiliar with this game beforehand, but since you sent all the videos to me because you can't edit, you don't have any editing software. You sent them all
Or
to me.
device.
Or device. That's true. Yeah. Since you don't have any editing, anything really, you sent all the footage to me. So I basically had to learn the ins and outs of this game's secondhand. So I don't want to say know everything about it, but I know a decent amount, and yet I've never played the game.
I'm
So-
over here playing Mega Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Mega Man Battle Network, to be more specific.
Well, hi Carlos. Yeah.
This is how they'll be able to tell a timeline. Not by looking at this credit, but seeing how I'm fucking playing the Mega Man Battle Network series.
Yeah, as long as if it came out just the other day.
It came out, what? Friday? No, Thursday at 8 p.m.
I'm gay.
God damn it. That is so fucked.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun editing this playthrough actually.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities where you can just edit. Well, you fucking suck.
Yeah, because on one hand, this game is very hard from what it looks like.
Yeah, because it really does. Like, this game is pretty unique, and then it doesn't tell you much. It kind of gives you a couple riddles and poems. It tells you how to attack and how to heal, and that's it. You gotta figure literally everything else out.
Yeah, because this is very old school Metroidvania level design philosophy. Do you know what Metroidvania is, Colin?
Like the Metroid series.
It's Metroid series plus the Castlevania series.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's where the term Metroidvania came into play. It comes from, I want to say, a late 90s term, just basically to describe any game that's sort of with this structure. It's 2D side-scrolling. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be a 2D side-scroller, but it's basically you just explore around. There is an encouraged way to do things, but it's never outright holding your hand throughout the entire thing. It's like there's an ideal point A, point B, point C, and you need to find the key to point D, but you can't find the key because it's locked in point G. Yeah, it's sort of structured like that, but they don't really encourage that kind of play style. You can go to like point G at the very start if you know what you're doing, but you're not going to have a fun time since you didn't really explore around. So, yeah. And
that kind of describes this game pretty well.
Yeah, and the Metroid series and the Castlevania series, basically, they're the precursors to that kind of play style. And so, Hollow Knight is emulating that. For sure, yeah.
Yeah, except in this case, the game is not trying to hold your hand, but trying to punch you down a long hole like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard it, I think even on the like Steam description, like it says Souls-like, I think.
It's Souls-like in the fact that the game would really much rather you not live.
Yeah, that's fair. That describes the Soul series pretty well.
But the combat is actually pretty simple. There's only really a couple of attacks that you can do, especially in the beginning. There's really only like you can only hit them with the nail.
That's all that. Yeah, that's all that you have right now. You do get decked out with stuff later on, and that's always nice. Yeah.
Again, just like the Soul series.
Just right, yeah, because things even. I mean, I don't want to say that they hit you like they take away 4 health. They take away 4 health points at the very beginning. I don't think they do it like that, but it's more like pot shotting. That really.
Yeah. Like at the beginning of the game, everything basically does 1 damage, but you have 5 health, and healing takes like you really have to be fairly safe to heal, and you can only heal 3 health at a time.
Is it like a predetermined number? Because I noticed when I was editing that healing is basically done. You have to have enough in that little tank there. So is the maximum that tank can hold fully 3 health points?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. That's good to know, actually. Yeah.
And you can lose a lot of health really quickly if you get swarmed. Like you have an iframes, but it's not like the enemies like hit you and then take a few steps back. They just keep trying to hit you.
Yeah. Because like those enemies, piece of cake up there. But like something a little down the line, yeah, they do start. Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to say is like they don't necessarily like take away all of your hit points in like one swipe. They just do pot shot damages. Like it adds up over time.
Oh yeah, it can add up, and occasionally there's like bullet health stuff that happens.
Occasionally, yeah.
Like the grubs in this room that just swim around, and like the little crawly thingies that go on the floor.
Yeah,
it's kind of a mini bullet hell, but since you don't have any movement but jumping, it can get pretty like hard to dodge them occasionally.
Occasionally, at least you can do the thing where you can swipe your nail downwards so you can negate any damage from like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pogo off of them. You can smack them.
Yeah, that's also another ability that I noticed that it's good to have at will. You know, yeah, you can pogo off of enemies while doing a downward spike. Kind of like DuckTales, actually. You old DuckTales game from so long ago. Yeah,
you gotta love the map. It's pretty helpful. Like when you get it. Yeah, so that's pretty helpful.
Where am I though?
Yeah, where are you? Who knows? I don't. I never.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the more annoying aspects of the game. Not seeing where you are in relation to the map is not fun. I want to say it's intentional to like it being a part of a intentional difficulty. I honestly just see it as a design oversight, or maybe it's one of those things where maybe they're thinking all the way back to really old school Resident Evil, where you only had a limited number of saves, so you could only save a set number of times, so you had to be smart about that. That's archaic design, though, and unfortunately, the map system, it falls in line with that archaic design system. It's not the best example, and I realize this as I'm talking about it. But it just kind of feels like one of those things where like this doesn't really help with the flow of the game, so I'm just gonna kind of knock it off, you know?
Yeah, you can get an item to see where you are on the map, but it takes up a useful slot for other
Right.
items. So you just kind of have to go without. If you really want to know where you're at on the map all the time, you can.
Yeah, but then again, it takes away a badge slot, and you don't necessarily want to do that because badge slots are basically ways you can build certain criteria for yourself. You know.
Yeah, certain abilities that combo together really well.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing about the super early game is when you hit enemies or walls, you actually get knocked back. Like the enemies get knocked back, but so do you.
Oh.
Like that's why I fell right there, is because I hit the wall and I just right off the ledge.
I guess I never realized that. I mean, it's kind of obvious when you're pogoing off of them because it's kind of designed like that. But I actually didn't. So, like, you can actually feel yourself going back whenever you hit an enemy, even horizontally, yeah?
Horizontally, there's no knockback. Like, up strike, there's no knockback.
That's vertical.
But a side strike, you get knocked back.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Only in the early game, though, because there's a badge that negates that I wear the entire game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't notice it. Because I was so busy editing more so late game than I was early game.
But you can negate the knockback a little bit just by walking forward while you're hitting. But you really got to be careful with it because you can just walk right into the enemy.
I see. Yeah. That makes sense. It also should be said the way I edited the playthrough together. So, because it does have that Metroidvania level design, there is a fade in, fade out between every room. So, if there that I use those as opportunities to cut to the room that's next important, so we don't have to see the entire trek. You know?
Yeah. The amount of going back and forth I did was a lot.
Right. A lot. A lot.
Like 35 hours of a game that should only take about 15 or 20.
It can range depending on like how many endings you want to go for, is from what I could tell. But ouch. Yes.
Yeah. Also, it depends on how good you are at the game too. Because if you can easily just destroy every boss, then you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, it's also knowing where every save point is, because it doesn't, like, even during if you die to a boss fight, it doesn't spawn you right outside the boss room. It spawns you to where you last saved. I think all your money is still intact. I don't exactly remember how it works, but I guess we can see that later on, you know?
We'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We will definitely find out.
Yeah, I think some things are left intact, but you're sent all the way back to your previous save points. So, be that as you may. It's a little trial and error, especially. I think it's because Souls games are kind of centered around trial and error. Would you say, Carlos?
What?
Oh my god.
I'm not fucking playing Mega Man. I'm not really paying attention.
The Souls games are more or less centered around trial by error level philosophy, yeah.
Yes, because here's the thing with the Souls is like you very much learn by trial by fire.
Trial by fire, okay.
Because like, hey, you died. Now, if you want all your fucking money back, or souls, you better know how to get back there and how to kill what killed you.
Right.
Or at least avoid it.
Right.
Yeah, that is one thing that was super annoying, is that there's a lot of enemies that you have to kill to get to a certain point, and if you die, like at the end of it, you either have to avoid all of them or kill all of them all over again.
Yes.
Oh, so enemies respawn. Yeah.
Yeah, when you bench or you die and go back to a bench, they all respawn.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, just like in Souls, when you're rest at a bonfire, all enemies respawn. But as long as you don't rest, they stay dead.
As
Yeah,
long as
that's
you don't
true.
rest?
Yep,
Okay.
Oh well,
But-
if you go between areas, they respawn as well.
that too.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
But
The
like if you're
hardest
in an
boss in the
area,
game.
what's it called? At least this is what I've done multiple times in like Dark Souls 3 is like sometimes when I'm looking for an item, I literally just kill everything in the immediate area. I just start hunting for it because they're not gonna respawn. So
Mm.
see if the threat's gone, just stay there. And yeah, I think one like the bosses are like the best example because when you if you die to them, they're in a boss room where you can only enter it again through a fog. You can't exit out of that area anymore. I think unless you use maybe an item. I don't know. I never tried. Really?
Well, you're forced to fight them, is basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you start, you can't go back. Yeah.
Yep. Once you start, you can't go back. So if you die there and you lose like what 10,000, 20,000 souls, depending.
Yeah.
You will, you will feel it.
Yeah, if you really want all that all that cash back, you know.
You're gonna have to fight. That's why usually, like, obviously, it's like a modicum in Souls games that before you enter a boss fight, you go back to like your. It's I think a different area for each one, except Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1, you can level up on any bonfire, but Dark Souls 2 and 3, you have to go back to your main camp and talk to a certain person. And you use your souls, you level up, and then you go fight the boss.
Yep. Yeah. In some Souls game, you got to go to some grass, talk to Mozzarella, and she'll be like, "Give me your cash, and I'll give you strength."
Yeah. One of the downsides of not going back, not resting on a bonfire, is you won't get your Estus Flask back, which is your primary healing item. And sometimes your only healing item, depending on the game.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh.
So so you're very much like, hey, you better not get hit or die as you're going through the area / level.
Yeah. So, like, if you do happen to expend it, you'd have to actively go out of your way to shop for it again.
No, if you expend all your Estus Flask, the only way to get it back is resting on a bonfire.
Oh.
So, if
God damn it, dude! I swear to God, the level hazards in this game, they get me every time because I'm not paying attention enough.
No, I know that's a I'm not gonna knock you for that one. I would think that the hurt box would be turned off for spikes that are going sideways. Yeah, so the pointy bit isn't actually hurting you. Yeah.
So yeah, here's a,
You get hurt because Spike's bad.
But the spike, I was standing on the side of the spikes. That shouldn't
Spike-
count.
Spike's bad. Bad Spikes.
dude,
Spikey hurt. Ooh.
Spiky hurt.
Spike hurt. Go back to the beginning of the level.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously, like with a game like this, when you get used to it, you get used to it, and you can like go through them pretty fucking fast.
Yeah, for sure. And you get new abilities that you have to kind of incorporate, and then once you get used to those, everything becomes a lot easier.
Yes.
But the thing about this game is it also levels up with you, which we'll see. We'll see later.
Okay. Like, do you mean the areas like when you go back to them get stronger, or just like
Yeah, the enemies get dripped out.
or if you go back to this one later on in the game, they also become more powerful? Or if it's like the next area you find, oh yeah, they're more powerful than they were in the last area type of thing.
Everything in this game takes a bunch of freaking money. I swear to God.
Do you understand the question?
Hmm?
Yeah, I think it was more just
I think it's because of, if I had to take a wild guess, I think certain areas have stronger enemies, like it's area based. Yeah, because that's
Dark Souls then.
it's more so like Metroidvania philosophy, really. Because like in the first area that you're in, enemies are usually kind of pushover. That's kind of the point, really. And so when you finally get to, I don't know, fucking Brinstar, Norfair, or whatever, enemies usually hit a lot more and take a lot more to kill.
Yeah, like that just happens in most games because even in Dark Souls, once you get like in the end game, everything will just two-shot you still. But if you go back into like the beginning, you can take a few.
Yeah,
hits.
you can easily one-hit kill those essentially.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest, and specifically again because Dark Souls 3 is primarily a game I play of the Soul series. The final boss, the one before the second to last boss, the twins, Lothric,
Oh, the meme one? I think I know what you're talking about.
where maybe it's just easier to just run past all the enemies and just go into the boss fight than try to fight them all.
Mm.
Because there's just an overwhelming amount of enemies at that point, and some of them just hit like a truck. So you're like, fuck it, just run past.
You get a little goblin-looking creature, and he's like, hits you with a stick, and it's like,
yes, and some of them sometimes it's more like they get you into a stun lock that just takes away half your health.
Oh, that's ew. All right.
It's a intentional stun lock because they'll stop for a few seconds and give you
I
back.
get it. I get it. I just don't like it.
Well, just don't get hit.
I'll try.
That's the entire Soul series, like fucking
Don't
marker.
don't fucking die.
Yeah, don't fucking die. That's basically it.